news for the real estate space. The DNC is no longer something that you have to worry about, and the reason is it was thrown out in court. What's going on, y'all? Eric Cline talking about the DNC is dead. Now, the coffee versus fast, easy offer. Reading it right here. The case that ultimately killed the DNC. What do I mean by that? For everyone out there that was worried about making cold calls in the wholesale real estate industry, reaching out to homeowners and just simply seeing if they want to sell their home. This is something that I have personal experience with. I've been dealing with it for 15 years because I've been making outbound calls. Now, this is what I want to tell you. I was never really worried about it, ever, because I knew the DNC, home solicitation, it is where you reach out to somebody and see if they want to buy your product or services, right? That's where it falls into place. All we were simply doing is reaching out to homeowners to see if they want to sell their house. Now, some experiences over the last years where I've had to deal with some of these bottom feeders, these roaches that love sending out letters to try to siphon money from people like us that work really hard for it. And all they do is sit back, waiting and praying that somebody calls them about their house. Now, what they didn't realize is there was going to come a day where it was all going to catch up to them. And that day just so happens to be on June 5th of 2025 is when the case was settled. Now, some of the experiences that I've had is I have personally paid. I'll actually take it a step back. Let me take it one step back. In the 36 months that I had TLC home buyers in Raleigh, North Carolina, 36 months, 95% of our business was cold calling. We did a little bit of PPC, but 95% of our business was cold calling. And I was never worried about whether or not I could get sued by somebody for soliciting them. But you are going to get the letters. And in 3 years, in 36 months, I got 4 letters from these bottom feeders. Because all we did was simply give them a call. On 2 of, and what I would usually do is you would get a letter and I'd throw it in the circle filing bin, which is the trash. I would think nothing of it. First letter, boom, shot, made it, trash. And I would wait for a second letter. And only 2 of them, of the 4, sent a second letter. Second letter came and I'm like, all right, I'll call them and let them know not paying. So 2 of them, just because I didn't want to go to court. It would have cost me time. It would have cost me energy. It would have cost me money. So I would ultimately end up just settling with them. And they were asking for astronomical numbers. $50,000, $75,000 for a freaking phone call? Are you serious? So what I would do is I'd start off and say, I'm not paying you $1. And then they'd say, oh, well, we're going to take you to court. And I'd say, take me. When really, I didn't want to go to court. Again, time, energy, money. I can sue you. You can sue me. And when a lawsuit happens, you got to stay in the fight until it's settled, right? Lawyers, all that nonsense. So they would start with this really big number. And ultimately, one of them I settled for $1,500. The other one I settled for $5,000, totaling $6,500 in the course of 36 months. 4 letters, 2 of them I paid on, $1,500, $5,000. Now, why am I telling you this? Because as of June 5th, 2025, it does not exist anymore. The bottom feeders and the roaches that love trying to clean up scraps of us people that make hard-earned money, they can no longer say they are on the do not call list when we reach out and see if they are potentially interested in selling their home. So for a lot of you that were scared of making cold calls, which is my number one lead source, and it has been for years, millions and millions and millions of dollars closed and funded yearly with this one lead strategy, cold calling. The DNC is no longer something that you have to worry about. And the reason is because it was thrown out in court. It does not qualify because of what we do in the industry that we're in. We're not asking them to buy our services or any type of product that we have to offer. We're actually just calling them up and seeing if they want to sell their house to us. So, big news for the real estate space and big news for people that are cold calling. Why? When you buy data and you were to cold call it yourself or outsource it to a cold calling company, and that company, if they even did this, which we did, scrub it against the DNC list or the litigators list, we no longer have to do that. So why am I telling that to you? Because you get to call all the data now. Put it into context. If you were to buy 12,000 leads and scrub it against the DNC, there's a good chance you're going to get roughly 2,000, 2,500 leads that get taken away because people have registered with the DNC list. Sometimes it's much higher than that. Now, the data you pay for is the data you get to call. DNC is dead. Let's call all of them. And more importantly, let's capitalize on the leads we pay for. So for anybody that is wondering, is this something I should still be worried about? The answer is no. If you have questions, comment below. More importantly, if you are looking for the best cold calling script in the industry, comment below cold call script, and I got your back for life. All right? DNC was never worried about it, but for those that were, it is finally dead. Let's pick the phone up and dial all numbers nationwide. So now with this case being thrown out, let's just review the case, which I have. I'm going to read the paper. That way I don't get anything wrong. This is public record. I want to review the case with you real quick. All right. So the case was coffee versus fast, easy offer. Now, the court was the U.S. District Court of Arizona. All right. So this was right here in AZ. It was alleged violation of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, which is the TCPA. Again, a lot of you, this was the one thing that held you back from even getting started. Now, the parties involved, again, we have Coffee is the last name. If you want first name, go look it up. And then the defendant was Fast Easy Offer LLC. All right. Now, plaintiff's allegation. Coffee claimed she received unsolicited calls and text messages from the defendant. So not only was she irritated about phone calls, she was irritated about text messages. And FYI, do not just call leads, 100% text them. Why? Texting is the number one way people communicate globally. So if you're only making just phone calls, make sure you implement the texting as well. All right. Now, messages were alleged attempt solicit to sell her home. That's what she was irritated. They solicited me to ask me if they wanted me to sell my house. And promote services from entities that help sell homes. All right. Got that. Her phone number, Coffee's phone number, was registered on the National Do Not Call Registry. Again, that is for when you call somebody and solicit them to get to buy your services or buy your product. That's where that falls into place. Now, She argued this violated 47 USC 227 of the TCPA, which restricts telemarketing calls and use of automated dialing systems, okay? Now, defendant's argument is, claim the messages did not qualify. So the company's saying, no, it did not qualify for the telephone solicitation under the legal definition of TCPA. So what did they go do? They went and read what that actually consisted of, because the homeowner didn't know. And again, she filed a lawsuit not being fully educated on what she thought they broke, okay? Now, argued their outreach did not involve the promotions of goods and services, meaning they didn't try to sell her anything. They reached out and said, hey, Miss Coffee, would you potentially be interested in ever selling your home? We're interested in buying homes in the area. Didn't offer to sell her anything. Nada, zilch. Now, court's ruling. This is what matters. The court agreed with the defendant that they did not break or violate the TCPA violation she's saying they did. Determined that the messages were not solicitations as defined by the TCPA, meaning you have to be offering goods or services. Now, the case outcome, which is not what Mrs. Coffee wanted. Defendant's motion to dismiss was granted, meaning they got to walk away scot-free. They didn't do anything wrong. Lawsuit dismissed with prejudice on June 5th, 2025, meaning Coffee cannot refile this case. It is done. The judge said, quit wasting my time with these frivolous lawsuits. Read what you think they violated before you file a lawsuit and stop spending the hard-earned money that these companies are making. Now, legal takeaway. This case hinged on whether real estate-related unsolicited messages qualify as a telephone solicitations under the TCPA. The court ruled that in this case, they do not qualify. This is coming directly from the district court in Arizona. This is not my opinion. This is their opinion, meaning their opinion is all that matters. Don't take my word for it. Take the court's word. Pick that phone up and dial as many homeowners as you want and ask them, are you interested in selling your house? Okay? Now, with that being said, again, this is massive for the wholesale real estate industry. Massive, right? Because we're not taking anything from them. We do get an assignment fee at closing, but we are not selling them anything, all right? Hopefully, this news gives you the confidence that you needed to know the phones is where it's at. Virtual is where it's at. Now, hopefully this right here added massive value. My purpose of having a YouTube channel is one, hopefully I motivate you. Hopefully you see something in my story where if I can do it, you can do it. But at the end of the day, if you like the information, what I'd love you to do is subscribe below and pass my channel on to as many people that you think would benefit from this. Why? I'm trying to get to 10,000 subs and I need your help to do it. So if I bring value to you, help bring value to me, and I will continue to push the best content this industry has ever seen. I got your back for life. Hey, what's going on? I want to congratulate you for making it to the end. What does that mean? You're in the 1% club. No one else stuck around. You did. What I want you to do is subscribe. More importantly, comment below. That way I know exactly who you are and we can get to know one another. Every single week, by you turning your notifications on, you're not gonna miss the sales training that's gonna keep you in this 1% club. Comment below, subscribe, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Let's continue to refuse to lose.